Hey, this is Matt once again. Welcome back to the videos to the paid requests. This time for Guillermo. Thank you so much for that. For those interested in requesting any type of videos, topics, reactions, commentaries, what have you, feel free to send it either directly to my PayPal or join my Patreon. Both links are down below in the info box. And this is for the Spirit Chaser, which is a bit hard to find. I was able to find it eventually because some places say it came out 2017. Some places say it came out 2016. And then some places called it Sanitarium. And that it comes out 2023. Like, I could not find this on IMDb until I... What the hell? Oh, its alternate title is Sanitarium, and the date is 2023. Even though it's the same film as The Spirit Chaser from 2016 or 2017. So, that's where the whole confusion came about. Now, it takes place in 2015, and it's a found footage film, and I'm always curious when Guillermo sends me, he's a very nice, generous guy, sends me paid requests for found footage, because with found footage films, I'm a sucker for them, even though 85% of them I've seen have sucked, but at least it gives me something to talk about if they suck. And then the other 15% are nice, for me, hidden gems. You know, some are not hidden. I love the Blair Witch Project from '99, and people know that. But I also love Butterfly Kisses. I loved As Above, So Below. I loved The Tunnel. What was it? It's more of a fate documentary, but Savage Land was really good. You know, there's some nice, welcome surprises. Like Butterfly Kisses was a nice surprise, among others. As Above, So Below, I think is underrated. It exists. Bigfoot movie, some same people who did Blair Witch Project. To me, that's one of the better Bigfoot films. Horror in the High Desert, which I know there's a sequel, and that's one of the requests Guillermo has me doing. But the first Horror in the High Desert, I thought was a nice, effective, subtle, creepy movie. So again, that 50%, I'm like, wow, really enjoyed it. Maybe because it's not a new format, obviously, but it still feels cinematically different and raw and, quote, real. So it gives a little bit more of a different, unique experience compared to the typical film. So that's why I'm still always intrigued to see it, because you're viewing it in a different format, different camera quality, rougher camera quality. Because it's a POV, you try to put yourself into that person's perspective, visually, so it almost becomes a little bit more interactive in a weird way. When done well, of course. This is sadly one of the 85% that sucks. But at least, again, even if it sucks, it gives me something to talk about. So, bring them all. Guillermo, if you watch it, bring all the found footage requests you can. Be my guest. But I don't know, I'm like 3.5 minutes in, and we're going to talk about the movie. You have a guy in Rome who met a girl, and it's their last week. He wants to bring her back to London. He's going to marry her. He hasn't told her he's going to marry her yet, but he will. But the last week he's going to go bring her back to London. He also talks with his buddy, which seems like he's known this guy for a while, and his bud has gambling problem. Now the characters and the acting isn't that great. The lead guy, when you're in the woods and he's saying the same thing over and over again, take a drink every time he says, "I'm done," or "I don't like these games. I don't like these games. I'm done. I'm done. I don't like these games." Again, take a drink every time the guy says one of those two things. And this bud, apparently he says he's from New York, and he's a dick. He's just saying lines like, "Stop being a pussy, what the fuck?" Well, he tries to rap, and he fails at rapping. He's terrible at rapping. So am I, but I wouldn't fucking rap. So yeah, lead guy was a bit of a posh. You got a character. You got a buddy who's an annoying wanker of a character. And then when you see the guy's girlfriend, the lead guy, you're wondering why did you fall in love with this lady? Because the first couple scenes is her with a cracking voice, cracking like this, giving a middle finger, being very annoying and bitchy in bed. I can understand the first time because you wake her up in the middle of the night with a camera in your face. I'd be bitchy as well, but then like the next time we see her, she's just bitchy. It's just, why do you like this lady? Doesn't really give me a idea why you're so in love with this lady. When the first couple scenes we see are just her yelling and cursing you out. So while this is going on, our lead hears a couple stories. One story is there's a hospital at 30 years ago, it was shut down, and there's doctors and there's experiments. I wonder if this will come into play. It does. You have the buddy giving him more shit. This is your girlfriend. These are your balls. Finally, the buddy is playing poker. He loses. He's in heavy debt. And the Italian gangster, who happens to be named Tony, and not Tony Soprano, the story's told about this lady named Dora who killed her parents in Malpaso Forest 30 years ago. Oh, 30 years ago. 30 years ago, a hospital shut down. 30 years ago, this Dora lady who killed and is in the forest. Wonder if there's a connection. The gangster decides, hey, you don't spend 24 hours in this forest, and if you do that, clear your debt. In fact, I'll pay you. Now, you know something's up because, like, what fucking gangster is going to give that deal? Stay in the forest for 24 hours and not only is your debt paid, but I'm going to give you more money? Right then and there, a bunch of alarm bells should be showcased by our lead. And he's like, I'm not going to do it, I'm not going to do it. And the guy's like, no, come on, buddy, come on, buddy, come on, buddy. And within a few minutes, then he does it. But again, like, this guy's an Italian gangster, and you're going to the woods? Like, you don't think there's... Whatever. So they go in the woods after a car ride where the buddy raps some more and calls him a pussy-whipped fuck. It comes off as, in the woods, a very lame, unscary version of Blair Witch Project. I love the characters in the original Blair Witch Project, Heather, Josh, and Mike. I could relate to them, I could understand them, I could understand their frustration. This is a matter of days where their supplies are dwindling and they go in a circle and they feel like no matter what they do, they can't get anywhere. Here, it's only supposed to be one day. And within hours, it's I'm done, I don't like these games, curse each other out, yelling at each other. This is really before any creepy shit has happened. They find like one tree with some dolls on it. That's pretty much it in the daytime. And they're already like ready to go at each other's throats. I'm like, barely anything's happened. You guys are like ready. What the fuck? That cranked up quick, your guys' agitation towards each other. Until ultimately there's a scene where they keep hearing weird stuff and they're thinking the gangster guys fucked with them. They go set up a tent. The bud tells a story about Ward Zero and strange experiments and cloning and people with no faces. And these drawings that he had that he threw away. There's a tent scare. He hears humming. They get separated. I don't go into spoilers. Because this is where it gets really fucking, in my opinion, stupid. they're separated. He wanders around. He sees his bud going to the sanitarium. He goes after him. And he pretty much just wandering around the sanitarium, wandering around with the camera. Like many found footage, just drop the camera, get the fuck out. Of course we can't, because there'd be no movie. He wanders around and he sees figures. He sees someone that looks like they have no face. He sees his buddy that seems like he's turned or crazy or something. He runs out. He even has a Blair Witch type of confession, like Heather Downing's Blair Witch Project, only it's much more effective in that movie. And then he runs out, and he runs a bit, then he comes across this guy. Almost want to call him Crazy German Guy from Monster Squad. And he sits out, take you to town. That guy has Dora. They suspended my experiments. I hid her here. They tie the lead guy up. They dig into his leg a bit. She comes out with a chainsaw. He somehow escapes. But I guess later on he's supposed to think that they let him escape. Which I'm like, if you wanted to let him escape for whatever reason, I don't know why you would want to fuck with his leg to begin with. Why not just fuck with his hand or his arm or something else? But okay. And why did you want him to escape? Either he escaped very, very easily, or they let him escape because of what happens at the end. And either one, it's like, why did you want him to escape in case he got to... What if he went to the cops? The police? Because that'd be the first thing I would do, is when I get in the town, I would go to the police. Because he's been limping through the woods. I don't even know how he got back in the town. Because it seemed like they were in a car ride to go all the way up to the forest. Here, he escapes the house, and assuming it's the middle of nowhere, since this crazy guy is hiding this Dora girl from 30 years ago, they just cuts to him by a fence and he's back at the city. How do you get from there to the city? Did he teleport? I didn't really get how... And no, there's no scene that I saw where the guy like drove him into the city and then it was like in some apartment. No, felt like he was still in the middle of nowhere in this forest. Then he escapes this house, whatever place he was at, and then by editing, by a cut, he's now at the city. I'm like, how the hell did he get through all that for all that time? Whatever. How far is it? Is it 10 miles? Is it 20 miles? Is it 50 miles? Is it 2 miles? So he somehow got away, somehow got back into town. And instead of going to the police, because, I mean, you're wounded, your leg is fucked up. No. He just goes home. Even though he's got this leg bleeding. What if he went to the hospital first? The hospital or the police? You would think that'd be the first things you go to. Oh, my leg got cut and fingers put into it by this crazy doctor guy. You want to go to the hospital? Nah. You want to go to the cops? Nah, I'm going to go home. What the fuck? Go home. He's not worried about bleeding to death. So, no, he goes home, and then lo and behold, all the stuff in the sanitarium, that was a fake. There's a going away party, and there's the Tony, the Italian guy, there's his buddy, there's the lead guy's girlfriend, and his buddy and the girlfriend was, I guess, wearing the face mask and with no face. Is like, what the fuck you guys doing, huh? You think this is funny? What happened to your leg? The part in the sanitarium was a fake out. But the crazy doctor guy he found and Dora, they were real. And then they just show up. And I get Dora has a chainsaw, but she's also blind. She can't see. So there's like 3 or 4 of you. You could tackle her. Like literally, two of you could tackle her, and one get the chainsaw. Just saying. But no, they just stand there, get killed off screen. The lead guy's standing there with a fucking camera watching this girl chainsaw the gangster guy. Why are you standing with a camera? Why don't you throw the camera, use it as a weapon, tackle her? No, he's just staring there like this. Doesn't do anything. Character's an idiot. So that guy dies, then his girlfriend gets pulled behind and dies off screen. Then the lead guy dies. And you come to find out that the buddy is the brother of Dora. Mighty, here's your sister. The bud's name was Mike. I mean, wait a minute. That's his sister now? And I'm like, what? So, the lead guy who was friends with this Mike Bud guy for who knows how many years. Was this pre-planned for years? Did he tell Tony, hey Tony, come with this idea? Like, what if the guy didn't? What if the guy? I don't know. There's so many questions you have. What if the lead guy decided not to go out in the woods in the first place? Why he said fuck it? What if? What if he had went and punched someone in the? What if the woman with no face? What if he punched her and then realized it was his girlfriend? Oh shit! And then they all leave together. What if any number of scenarios happened that would cause a much different outcome? I felt they just put that in there just for shock value or just for shits and giggles or whatever the hell reason. I don't know. If it actually went with the whole, oh, there was no bad guy, it was all fake, and someone just got carried away, even that would have been easier to swallow than this shit. I tried to have his cake and eat it too, and it wasn't that scary or creepy. The characters were more annoying than anything. The ending just felt really stupid and made little to no sense. The attempts at scares just made you think of the Blair Witch Project, which did that much better. Whether it be the tent scare or hearing noises in the woods. I mean, the dolls in the trees. Hell, I got the sticks in the trees in Blair Witch that felt more creepier. I mean, the acting wasn't that great. And to repeat myself, the ending sucked. So no, I was not a fan of the Spirit Chaser. I don't know, maybe if you had a couple chasers and drink them, maybe you would enjoy the film. I don't know. Oh, it's called the Spirit Chaser, by the way, because that's like one of the charms that this guy, the Bud, Mike carried. Like his good luck charm. And how is he the brother of this girl, Dora? And I'm not going to get into that because that creates a lot more questions. Go, what? It's supposed to be shocking. But I'm more like, what? That's not really a great way to end your film when you're going, what the fuck, really? What? The buddy is the brother of this Dora that no one's seen for 30 years? What? Okay. Was more of an eye roll than scary, that's a problem. So that's my thoughts on the Spirit Chaser. I thought it sucked ass. You can't win them all. But like, again, even if it's a bad found footage film, at least it gives me something to talk about. Because if they're good, they're really good. If they're bad, they're really fucking bad. It's not a lot of in between. But we'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.